was a time. There was a time in.
There was a time.
Once upon a time.
Bro, honestly, I don't. If you want to see me drink rum, send me a topic.
Today,
Mm.
yeah, I want us to talk about that, like, not black debt, you know, that black mentality growing up that we may be setting our kids up for failure. Now, let me explain. Yeah, let me explain about this, right? So, you know, as kids, yeah.
Before we get into it, we introducing you rum.
Oh yeah. So what rum we drinking today? My bad.
Can't be rum and reason without introducing
already.
the rum, you know.
I'm on
So-
drink already.
Today we got the Kraken.
Yeah. So that's
You know?
okay.
The Kraken. Yeah, imported. What's this say here? I ain't got my glasses, you know. But yeah, black spice rum. 40%. That's what we're drinking today. Really see Kraken, they say.
Juice.
Yeah.
Really it's the Kraken.
Juice.
Truth juice in it, Mac.
Juice. 100%.
Yeah. Anyway, so what I say, yeah. So thanks guys.
Mm.
Cracking, drinking that today. We're not getting drunk on it. We're just having a sip and just talk about this thing I was thinking about.
Speak for yourself.
Think about yourself, yeah.
Loosen up.
Yeah, give it fire, yeah.
Loosen up. Loosen up.
Yeah. Bro, so I was just thinking about this, yeah. You know, like as a youth, or like you see it on the TV all the time, where, especially within the black family and black households, and some of my African brethren think the same way, where the idea of success always comes from parents saying you need to have high paying job, a big house, a fast car, beautiful wife or a wife, and then a boy and a girl. Idea of success. But now when I'm thinking, like, a lot of them kids, a lot of the people I speak to that's my age that haven't accomplished that yet,
Yeah.
they probably seen themselves
As failures.
as failures. And I'm thinking, for our kids, if we start saying this to our kids, how's that affect them? If they can't accomplish that in the way or the pathway we set for them within our own, not ideology, or the way we see it, could that be affected in the same way? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, understood. I think the reason our parents used to, well, I'm not even sure if all parents do that, but
Not all of them do it, bro, but yeah.
some parents might do that. The reason why they might have done that is because that's probably what was pushed onto them as well. I think it's the same thing, same message. It just changes over the time, but it bears the same construct, the same thing. It has the same message, but it's just delivered differently. So in their days, they might be like, okay, you know, they're seeing this person, you know, they want to be this person. Nice car, nice house, you know, white picket fences, nice family dog, this, that. They want that for themselves. They couldn't get it for themselves, so they probably, you know, trying to push the kids to get that.
Yeah.
You know, but
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong in that.
wrong with that.
Nothing wrong in that.
I say there's nothing wrong with that. Always wanting better for your kids and this and that, but it comes down to, like, if you don't get it, it's not the end of the world.
Exactly.
It's a double-edged.
You know, it's not the end of the
You say, what do you say? Right.
Because you know, like as Jay mentioned, you know, parents figure, well, they didn't get certain things, they want their kids to have that. We tend to lock in that mindset as parents. Like, you know, for instance, in the Indian society, their parents want their children to be doctors and engineers.
But that's the same thing as a lot of black families are like that, bro.
And it's a goal being set by the parents that you want your child to be XYZ, but at the end of the day, if that child doesn't become that, which you want them to become, does that mean that they are a failure?
Or would you be disappointed in them, or show you're disappointed?
A lot of parents are disappointed in them because, again, society. Because if you want your child to be a doctor, because that's
what they were looking,
you know what I mean. That's what society sort of look for.
Yeah.
And they don't become a doctor. Do you, as a parent, now become disappointed in your child? Does that mean that they're not successful?
And that's the thing, Jay. Going back to what you were saying, my G, like, it's society, because parents thinking about themselves and how they would look in society if their kids are anything but what they believe are successful careers.
Yeah.
Because I was saying to my daughter, yeah, she was talking about, we had this discussion about university and college. Yeah, education is a key to social mobility. True. However, a lot of the people I know in businesses that have successful businesses, a lot of them haven't been to university. And I know them personally, they haven't been uni.
Nope.
True. Not saying there's anything wrong with uni and that's your path in that, do that. But a lot of them, like, from, say, college, they say, like, yeah, let me try this little hustle. Yeah. And it became a success, and then they stuck with it now. You know, they have their own successful company. I'm just saying, like, How can we challenge that? Do we say like, okay, should we say to our kids when we're raising our kids, especially in the UK, how can we break that sort of mentality with this new generation, bro, and you know, and inspire them?
I mean, this is why we have this kind of conversations, I think, you know, to bring the two narratives together. University, of course, is good. Nobody's gonna go against that.
No.
But at the same time, you know, if you can acknowledge that people become successful without being to university, you put the two things together.
Yeah.
It's all about mindset.
Definitely.
It's all about mindset.
Yeah.
So if somebody might not have the patience or want to sit down and write 3, 4, 5,000 words on an assignment, but at the same time you give them a very detailed thing to do where it's hands-on, and they become successful with that. Not necessarily writing down 4, 5,000 words on a piece of paper. So again, success is measured differently by each individual.
Everybody have their own
their own
opinion.
strengths, their own
Their own opinion on what success is.
No perspective on it. Yeah,
exactly.
Perspective on what success is.
You know, let me say a parent want their child to become a doctor, but then that child, for whatever reason, not interested in being a doctor.
Yeah,
they put pressure on them.
Yeah, they end up taking up culinary arts and become a chef. Now, at that point in time, as parents, because they're not being a doctor, you probably feel, oh, chef. But then he becomes a well-known
chef. You know,
well-known chef,
well established. You know, 5-star.
That's his strength.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So again, it's how we measure it as parents. When we say setting up our children for failure, is it what we want from them, or what we support them in what they do?
And how a lot of parents, I know this is especially like having, we all got black parents or parents from the Caribbean and that. Yeah. Do you feel like sometimes that we feel so much pressure into disappointing our parents that we end up just going with the flow? When we get older in life, we go like, yeah, let me kind of like steady my path, let me do my thing. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, yeah, they have to. If they don't support me, that's fine. If they support me, even better. But at the end, you have to stand on your own 2 feet, especially when you have a family and that.
True.
And take risk. And I think that's another thing. Like when, you know, we do fall into like our kids and that. I'll say, I will never tell my daughter if she doesn't want to do something, she has to do it because that's the thing I think she'll be good at, or it will make me look good because I can say like, yeah, she's an amazing black belt or something like that.
Yeah.
I feel like we should expose them to everything that we can. Obviously, we can afford it. Yeah, expose them to everything that we can, and whatever it takes, we support them in that. And going back to university thing, you've been to university, didn't Mac?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bright boy,
innit? Yeah, you should have big old head. Yeah.
Bald head.
Only water in that, you know. You know them old coconuts. That's what that is. Yeah. But yeah, going to uni, and let me ask you, honest opinion, yeah. The stuff you learn in uni, right? Could someone that was interested in that stuff pick up a book, do the research, and educate themselves to that level?
Self-educate.
Yeah, like autodidactic. That's what they call it, didn't it? Just pick it up, learn it.
They can. There's a slight difference, but you can.
What's the difference? I know we're going into another section about education.
Not going too deep into it, but the fact that, let's say you have people who like experts within the field, they put you in a direction of certain knowledge, like almost instantaneously.
Right.
Whereas if you're doing it on your own, you may come across the knowledge, but you're not being directed.
You know how to apply it, or
on that time, and then have, say, you know, like for instance, the professor or whoever might bring their experience and explain certain things to you, and then they get to understand it in a way that is different to how it's being written in the book, so you understand it more. So slight difference, but yeah, I mean, you can achieve that, and it depends on what the subject is, as a matter of fact,
and if you're interested in the subject, and that's my point.
Yeah.
It brings me back to, you know, at school, yeah, there's certain times when this is bad, yeah. When I got to primary school, they literally broke down the classes into different sections, yeah. So
ability wise?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, bro.
So if you done so in the back or something?
I never said that. I never said. I just said it's according to, they put you in classes according. So if you're advanced,
A, B, and C.
Yeah. So if you know your stuff,
that is true.
Yeah. So so if you know your stuff, And that's why I say to my daughter, I don't know if you said that to your kids in the Caribbean. The way of education is very not harsh, but it's direct. So if you advance and you know your maths, your English, all your subjects, you on top of that,
Yeah.
they put you in a group where you guys can feed off each other.
Yeah.
And you guys can push along. If you're struggling, they put you in a group where they specialize in helping you. Yeah, get up to that level. Okay, that's one way to look at it. Right now, to me, that is already putting you into the different categories, forces,
Really segregating people,
tiers in society. Yeah,
put pressure on people.
Now
Man.
imagine you're you, yeah, that you're in the class where you need to catch up, and then your parents are educated, but your abilities do not lie academically. Your abilities lie
somewhere else.
Practical skills. Like, I can pick a piece of wood and I can whittle the hell out of that to make a carving.
Yeah.
And your parents don't want you to do that, bro.
Apart from Bible school, what else? The school itself. When you talk about education,
I think that's a young
we miss that step.
I think young age children supposed to not even when you go to preschool or anything.
And that is in my opinion.
That's 1+1 and 2+2 and this and that. They should leave that out, man. They should really be focused. And this is what the Japanese and them doing. They're focusing on the youths and them their creativity and their mind and how what
focus what
focus on certain things. And the part where they had them cleaning the school and this and that, it actually is a good thing. It's not child labor or child slavery. It's showing actually teaching them respect and to show appreciation for things, man.
Yeah, that's a good point. But going back, let me just I'm not attacking.
Go ahead.
You said that I kind of disagree with you.
Yeah.
Because I think at school, especially like in our generation, because you're born 1980. I don't want to tell people. I don't want to tell people you're embarrassing. But we born at the same time. We born in the 80s, yeah, or just a cusp of the 80s for some people in this room. Yeah. But we had this thing like when we go to school, we used to line up, right? And you had to all be quiet, right? Before you go in a straight orderly line. And you go, good morning, miss, good morning, sir. Go in, what do you do? Sit down. Yeah? When the teachers go, good morning, miss. So all them things were shown to us and it was reinforced at home. That's why when you see kids, even when I went home, good morning, mister. Good afternoon.
Yeah.
In this country, bro, I'm not saying nothing wrong with the UK, but you tell someone good morning in this country. I know we're veering off from topic here. They look at you like you're mad. So I think like growing up in the Caribbean, a lot of these things were instilled in us. What I really want to just like really explore in this episode is talk about like that pressure of feeling that you are failing or you're disappointing your parents because you're not meeting up to what they have put into your head. And when is a good time to start challenging that, bro, as kids? And how now our kids, how we can change that? Because my parents, I watched my parents go from struggling to being successful, and that was inspiring. But one thing they always ensured, and up to this day they said to me, whatever you're doing, whatever you try to push yourself into, make sure you're the best at it. Make sure you master it, and then move to the next. Because there's no point you starting something, not seeing if it might be a success, and then moving to something else and just leaving that thing behind. And that's something I think we, as like Caribbean people, really need to start exploring. Because your education is important.
Yeah.
Yep.
But there's other ways to do it, and these other ways might be
these other ways of being educated.
Yeah, going against what we think the disappointment would be.
Well, look, hear this little twist. I don't even think parents really parents right now, they're just there to feed and house and clothe.
In this country.
I think generally speaking.
Yeah, it's getting like that now, bro.
Because society, especially social media, that is what's raising the kids right now. When they go into the school, their friends, they have their peer group, this and that. Teachers, parents, they're just there, I said, to keep their kids safe, to feed them, to clothe them, protect them. But society in itself is raising social media, the TV, your phone, your smartphone, TikTok, this, that, Instagram. This is where they get in these false narratives of this is how it's supposed to be. This is how you're supposed to look, especially young girls. Young girls have it really hard.
Going back to what you said, DJ, about the social media side of it, I think that is a big part in contradicting. Not contradicting, in helping the children. They can see how to do things differently.
Mhm.
And let me explain. Yeah.
Mhm.
Our parents,
Yeah.
so some parents, doctor, lawyer, engineer, architect, whatever, yeah, profession. Kids now are making millions on TikTok videos,
Yeah.
and they're not even 18 yet.
Podcast YouTubers.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy money.
So now them kids are realizing, oh crap, yeah, I can do things differently now.
Yeah.
But the parents now, they're
Yeah.
not up to par with the technology. They're
No.
thinking, no, you're gonna fail.
Mhm.
And that's why I think where that support can come from our generation, like the 80s generation, to say to the kids, you know what?
I think we need to
Yeah.
we need to move with the times.
Yeah.
That's what
It's like a
kinda
gridlock
stuck in
moment,
the-
isn't it?
Stuck in the times.
When I say gridlock moment is, as a parent, if your limit, you know your limit,
Yeah.
you know. So let me say, for instance, if a parent, you have two parents, that went to university, both of them have their PhD or whatever.
Mm.
That's potentially a pressure on the child.
Yeah, to get to
get to that level, right? And
But you need to, as a parent, you need to let your child know that there's no pressure at all.
You know,
I just want you to be happy.
well, I mean, it's easy to say that, but then when you have two parents who have that, it's difficult not to
Yeah.
have your child coming up within that way.
But
Yeah.
if you had two parents that have doctorates, that means they have a really good job,
Mm.
which means the child would be kind of well off.
Mm.
You know, which
Okay.
means the child will have better access to types of different
Yeah.
education that another child may not have.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you might call the child a spoiled brat, this and that, but you know they may not want to push the child in that direction because the child already have a good foundation to do whatever they want.
But
Yeah.
then, sorry, Max, sorry, go on, bro.
No, but I mean, what I'm saying with the gridlock is like whatever you're exposed to as a parent,
Mm.
you know, you tend to set that limit for your children because that's the top that you've seen. So you feel, well, okay, beyond that, you perhaps don't know beyond that. So you want to take your child maybe to your level, but then they understand things beyond your level. Like for instance, as you say, children now, you know, or younger people than us, making millions on social media. They understand
Oh God, yeah.
the IT
Making
and
more money than I could
technology.
dream
And
of.
they understand that, you know. So again, it's
Oh God.
so much variations. The society you live in, you know, the things that you're exposed to, and you know the limitations your parents are under,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and the
True
sort of
that.
aspirations they set for you. So if somebody can run, you know, just as a reference, somebody can run 100 meters in 10 seconds
Yeah.
or 15 seconds. They only probably can tell you, well, 15 seconds is it.
Yeah,
You know,
because that's what they know, innit?
they know
yeah.
you're running that in 15 seconds. If you say, well, I'm going to do that in 10 seconds, no, you can't, because they've never seen it done.
Yeah.
And they doubt you doing that. And again, all this
Yeah.
again is just setting up your children for failure.
Have you seen the experiment? There's two things I want to talk about. There's a film I want to like just mention, but the experiment with the fleas, where they had an open jar and they had fleas in that open jar, and the fleas were jumping like 3 or 4 times higher than the rim of the jar. And this scientist, he covered the jar, so that generation of fleas, they were just hitting
It's in the
the lid all the time. And it got to when they had children, he took off when they had offspring, they took off the lid, and the fleas would only jump into to where the lid was.
Oh,
Yeah, sure.
okay.
And I was reading, he just said that if you had to lower the lid again, they would start hitting, and then their generation or their offspring, when he took the lid off,
Programming.
to that. So he's just
Indoctrination.
Programming. Yeah.
yeah, and teaching. Now
That's a good topic.
it's mad, isn't it?
Mm.
But get this, yeah. I want to talk about. I watched the Venus and Serena story, how they got to where they are and what their dad did. Their dad was like from the
King
south.
Richard, boy.
Yeah, it was from the south, like country south, ran away from the clan and all sorts. And he always said that when he has his kids, he's just gonna educate them, edumacate.
Educate.
That's what I'm saying, and like make sure they have the best opportunities. And he was a hustler, but from what I was getting, like his experiences, life experiences, was preventing him from allowing them to try things that would challenge them because he was afraid how people would perceive him if they failed. So he got to the point where Venus, I think it was Venus or Serena, one of them, they were like good. They were like whooping like people's butts. They were really good. So he said to them he didn't want them to play the junior tennis because, you know, that's just a lot of pressure. But if they lost the match, it'd make him look like a dumb, you know.
See, boy, he didn't want his experiences to to
But
be
that,
there.
but that's exactly that was messing him up because his life experiences because everyone looked at him a certain way.
Yeah.
If his kids failed,
They would be like, oh well, no shock there.
no shock there because you're
No.
dumb such and such.
Yeah.
And his wife, yeah, big up to the black women around here supporting us as well. We love you. His wife sat him down and said, like, look, you're taking your life experiences and you're limiting your
To
daughter.
them. Yeah.
And when he checked himself, he was like, yeah, I need to let her make those decisions for herself.
Mm.
And it was a good decision. She got beat the first time,
Yeah.
but she learned from it. And she
Mm.
became like a gangster in tennis.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good film for a lot of young black women and black men, kids to just watch, just see the dynamic of how that works and maybe get some inspiration from it.
Yeah, true.
Mm.
Going off of that, another way that I think we fail in our kids is showing them that everybody could be a winner.
Boom.
Mm.
Boom.
This whole thing about everybody's a winner is absolute nonsense.
And they cannot take an L when an L comes to them, boy.
You know? Everybody you get there's no first, second, and third anymore.
Mm.
Everybody get a participation sticker,
The
which
hell
I
with that.
find is absolute nonsense because it just telling kids that, you know what, I don't have to try to do better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have to try to do better. I could just play the game and I will definitely get something.
That's a creation of
madness.
of a lost society.
No.
Everyone has to be equal, innit?
No, it's not. It's because people too soft in the head.
Hmm.
You know,
Protect people's feelings.
You know, people thinking about people's emotions and feelings. If you lost, if you came last and you cry, you're crying. They want to see the child cry. Cry.
Yeah.
Cry if you
Do-
cry.
do better.
Do better next
Do
time.
better.
Don't come and give
You know-
everybody a participation sticker and my son or my daughter, win the race.
Because
Be like,
when you
you're
get older,
teaching them-
bro. Yeah, when you get older, them things. When you get older and they take an L out, because I said that to my daughter like 2 days ago. I said, when you take an L in this world, or they have to fire you, or someone says to you that you didn't do, they don't care about your feelings.
No.
Produce.
No.
So you're gonna cry when I say to you that you messed up there.
Because
And
it can.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
I got a cousin, Sue. So I love you, yeah.
Big up to Sue.
My cousins, yeah, the girls are my cousins. We loud, we proper West Indian.
Mm.
Her son was playing a football tournament, yeah. So she said, go on, go on. They said to her, could you please not shout the person's name because you're making the other kids feel uncomfortable like they're failing.
Listen.
I could imagine her
People too
face.
soft in the head, man.
See this thing. This is like a reference I draw last week when I say within the risk assessment in the world, you try to assess for one hazard,
Yeah.
and you bring another one. Now, when you have somebody who's doing well and excel in the area,
Yeah.
but then now you're trying to make them feel less of themselves because of a person who couldn't be asked.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
are you doing? You're trying to motivate somebody who couldn't be asked to do it, and then you're demotivating the person who went out.
Instead of using the person that doing good, instead of using them to try and help
Yeah.
the other people, to use that person to motivate these other people.
Yeah.
You're
demotivating
place
one
backward, man.
who's
Yeah,
highly motivated
system mad.
to help those who couldn't be asked. I mean, if you can't do it, you can't do it. We understand. Okay, so take the motivation out of it. Let's say you're not motivated, fine. But if you can't do it, you can't do it.
Yeah.
It's not your cup of tea.
Yeah.
I find this stupidness.
Yeah, there's a baker for a reason.
And it's also giving our kids that confidence to be assertive in certain situations, because and when we talk about last time we talk about like mental health and mindset and things like that.
Yeah.
This is one of the things that for me, as a culture shock coming in England. I mean, you hear about these things in different places, but as a Caribbean person, when you go to school, you do well in your tests, in your exams,
Try to do well.
to go up, because if you don't, bro, you ain't going nowhere.
Thank you, bro. And I want you to
Going
talk
nowhere.
about that. Talk
Yeah.
about that.
So you ain't going nowhere, and you have to work hard the next time. to go.
It depends on where you want to go, though.
Yeah,
Because
but
there are people in
the next-
leave school and they say they're still very successful.
But still,
Yeah.
in the school, within the school
system.
within the school
Within the school
system,
system, alright, cool.
every grade, you do your exam
Mm.
to go up to the next grade.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That is motivation for all the kids.
yeah.
Regardless to how we talk about, if you do well, you're in one group, say A class, B class, but everybody still have to do
Yeah,
it.
then you not to be changing no
And go up.
report marks and report book
But-
like what I do.
In England now, when, realizing that, hey, even for my kids, I'm like, I'm ready for the exams and so on. You need to be ready.
Mm.
Like, oh, no, we don't do exams. You just go to school and you just mung it. And then you go up the next class, and then again it's like
college.
until you get to like your last grade in primary school, and then you do what SAT, and then again like if you do good, great. If you don't, I mean you're not gonna stay there anyway. You're still going secondary school. Just leading up to when I did my common entrance, my auntie, not gonna call her name.
She would know who it is.
If you see, she's
Auntie
gonna know.
Reina.
Serena.
So you know, she used to always say to me that in common entrance you're gonna get given certain time to do the exams and so on. So you gotta do well. You gotta work quick so that time doesn't run out on you.
Yeah.
So for me at that age, I really didn't have a perception of time. I 12 years old.
Yeah, true. No,
What does
no,
an
it's a perception of that.
Yeah, what does an hour mean to me? I don't know.
Speak for yourself, bro.
Well, as I said, for me, what does an hour mean to me? Like, I might look at the clock. Okay, that's fine. Take me away from the clock. What does it mean? I don't know. So I went into the room to do the exam and all it.
Yeah.
And at the time they gave you multiple choice.
Yeah.
So you have your exam paper. You read the questions.
Yeah, we work it out and this and that.
So I had 4 exams: maths, English, and social studies, and other bits that come with it. But for me, the only thing that stuck to my mind, regardless of how to the end, time is not going to run out of me.
So you think you had whole day to do that?
Card blush.
Bro, listen.
You just run with it, bro.
Listen. The multiple choice paper that they gave you, not the questions, the one to put in your answers. Yeah. 4 columns, 25 in each column.
Right.
Because it's 100.
You know, the fact that he remembers that's concerning,
Yeah. Well, we're going to get there. We're going to find out. So, first 25, boy. I got no time to read questions. I didn't read the questions, whatever. What the paper said.
We were just doing eeny, meeny, miny, moe, only multiple choice.
I wouldn't say anything anymore, but hey, listen. It is what it is between A to D.
I was just waiting for something like to come from him today.
Listen.
No, I ain't gonna lie. I do that, but
From A, for the first 25, I just, anything that came to my head, whether it's A, D, C, just first 25. And then from 26, I start reading the paper.
That's some kind of ritual or some kind of...
I bet he passed as well.
If I passed, my lowest mark was 69. I shit you not. Couldn't dig my records.
Yeah. Wow.
Jesus.
What was on your
Couldn't dig my records. Lowest mark was 69.
What did you eeny, meeny, miny, moe? Did you say like Bojo Selfish?
No, just mate. It just coming up random. What you call it? Like A D D A E.
So not even a method, a process of elimination. It was just
sometimes none.
You know what? This man's a low key Rain Man. You know, Max a genius. You know, bro. Because sometimes that's why he speaks to us in parables. You know what it is? It's not that he's chatting nonsense. It's that we can't understand his language. That's what he's saying on a higher level of function.
Listen,
so it's 69. You know,
69. I don't know how I did that, and. Well, the teacher really didn't have any confidence in me because I was a bit of a, I wouldn't say slacker, but sometimes she's talking, I'm doing my own thing. I'm drawing. I'm listening, but my mind is still, wants to be occupied in something.
It might be on the spectrum.
I'm drawing.
Might be on the spectrum, you know.
I'm getting whooped.
It might be special.
Still doing it.
So he getting whooped, they're teaching, he's drawing, he's doing his own, and he's learning. That's 5 things at once, you know.
But I'll tell you what, you might not believe in this point.
Vincent Einstein.
You know what I mean?
One time. Was it one time? There was a time. There was a time in.
There was a time.
Once upon a time.
Right here. Bro, honestly, I don't know. And I'm not gonna claim any kind of powers or anything. Like I don't know how I did that. Strange. And if anybody do that, anybody listening out there, if you have done that, please let us know.
Is this when he tells us about Obia?
No, man. Obia, what is
Muga. Pure Muga.
So
yeah,
have you been in a class where the teacher is writing notes on the board and you have your notebook and you need to copy that notes in your book?
Oh yeah, all the time, bro. Standard.
Okay, cool. So me, for whatever reason, couldn't be asked to write out the whole thing. For every word the teacher put on, just put in the first letter in my notepad. And I'm going home and read notes. I shit you not. Ask me how I do that today. I don't know.
Spectrum.
Yeah, man.
I seriously don't know, and I don't think I can do it now. but
Yeah, that gift.
I was doing it in my notepad, and that wasn't one of the things that used to get me in trouble in my last year.
So hold up. So
primary
so
school.
they said like the black cat ran across. You just put in the first letter.
The
You
first
know
letter,
exactly what the
and
word
then I'm
is.
going home and read notes and know what that is.
That's genius, you know, bro.
Honestly, and that is one of the things that used to get me in trouble, because then now the teacher will think, well, I'm not really paying attention, and come and look at my notepad. You know,
Mm.
everybody's like, you know how children write. Sometimes you try to hide what you're writing and all this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm pretty much up and around because I already put my letters, and then come around and you just look at my notepad, and it's
Boy,
just
taking notes for you.
yeah, it's just
easy
random
and
letters
fast.
in it.
Yeah, that's like your own version of shorthand.
Yeah,
Bro.
and it's just random letters in there, and you think, well, what am I doing?
Mhm.
I'm not taking it seriously, but I am. And then when you have parent meeting, then
So you
I
take
mean,
a
my,
list.
my mom can testify to
So you
this.
take a lick
When
for
you had
meeting.
parent meeting, the teacher used to say to my mom, like,
Licks in your.
no, Kezron will not pass common entrance.
Hmm.
The teacher literally told my
You
mom
said
that.
that. Boy,
But
you see that? And I'm just saying, like you see in the Caribbean, like they just write you off. I'm not saying it's still like that.
Yes.
But that's
No.
terrible. That's terrible. When you say that.
she wrote me off, brother man. She wrote me off. She clearly said to my mom, this guy, nah,
Nah.
wrote me off, brother man. And then in common entrance, guess what? I was second for boys.
Yeah. A lot of the guys when I was in secondary school that some of the teachers wrote off. You know? I mean, I was in 4R, I think. I was like,
What's the R stand for?
I rotten probably.
I was gonna say remedial.
Because they had A, B, it had A. I like in the tears now.
Whoa, wait.
So
A, B.
you miss A and B.
No, well,
But what you mean in our, brother man?
4R, I think.
How many classes did they have? They had a whole alphabet
I
with
don't think
classes
they did it
in
in
school.
alphabetical order. I think it was
A,
probably
B,
4A,
C,
4B, 4C, 4R. I know a lot of fellas. I mean, fellas who still alive. Some of them they've gone to meet their creator, you know. But the ones that still alive, you know, they're doing well for themselves.
Bro.
Them fellas doing real good.
And I'm glad
You know?
I'm glad we started speaking about that because that's something I was gonna bring up. You see education, like you see when kids are running around and same thing. You had that shorthand thing doing their J. You see like when you were in R. You see that's what the R stands for, you know.
I don't know.
Recipe. Yeah. But I think like now it's probably still the same 90% from what I've seen, but that creativity and that imagination that we had as kids. When you go to education, like school, it just kills that in you, bro.
Yeah.
That shorthand thing you were doing it, they were saying that you're not writing your notes. What does that said to you? That does it say to you, like I'm not doing what they want? You used to feel crap. I bet that needs to make you feel a kind of way.
Nah.
Now, how does it make you feel?
You're not conforming to the system.
Nah, I couldn't be bothered because for me, I mean, she was saying that, but I was like locked in my.
Did they try and kill it though? Did they try and kill that in you? Like say you doing it wrong?
They try.
Yeah.
They try, but
That's
for
what
me,
I'm saying.
I wasn't bothered about it because I knew I understand.
They wasn't curious now. They probably just saw that time there was like, all right, he a nonsense.
Yeah.
Right?
So they
I
didn't
knew I understand it, but
Yeah.
whatever they want to say, that's just up to them.
And that's my point. That's my point. How we send kids up for failure, bro. Because if they show a difference in the way they do things, but it's leading to the same freaking answer,
True.
as educators in society, we find out like why, as parents as well. So why they doing it that way?
True.
Let me see, like okay, how they can maximize that to get to where they want. At the same time, conforming to society. That's why I always say to especially in the Caribbean, you need to play the game as to what they're asking you to do. By the back of your mind, you know, this is my mission. Not this is my mission. This is what I go about doing things.
Yeah.
So you clued up.
So you just play the game until you could you walk on it until
So Mac, if you know that your thing was shorthand and that, and that's how you do your shorthand, you do it the way that they want, so they stay off your back. But in your mind, you know that's a skill that you have and you can cultivate yourself. And as parents, if we know that in our kids, we encourage them to do those healthy things because you never know.
Yeah.
But what they should have done, they should have looked at it and probably not judge him so quickly.
Yeah, and just write him off.
And be like,
Yeah.
so how you understand this? How could you, write this just first? All right, so you read this off for me now and tell me if you understand what it is doing. And if he did it, they would have been like, oh wow, this guy's
Can you still do it?
This guy's special.
I can't do it now.
They killed it.
I think again, looking back as a teacher, as a parent, because she was a parent as well, and we probably might be guilty of it. we tend to judge
Mm.
things based on our own perception, and I think that's what she did. Because she's a teacher for years,
It's
and
because
she looked at
he
what I
had
did. She'd never seen that before, and she didn't even it didn't even cross her mind to ask,
yeah,
Keswan, do you understand that? Automatically, she looked at it and figured,
yeah,
well,
because as teachers they have basically is what it's called they have a rule book. They have
Yeah.
a curriculum.
Yeah,
They have this to follow, and they have to teach it this way. I mean, they could give you
mm,
a problem to solve, and you could, as Charlie was saying, you could come up with the answer,
mm.
but
How do you get it?
it's not how they wanted you to get it. You know, you come up with the same answer, but you didn't follow their process.
Bro?
that
You know,
that used to
and
be
that's
my that used to be
that-
my struggle in maths. That used to be my
It's me.
struggle. I'm quick. Well, I wouldn't say I'm quick, but I was quick in school with maths.
that was that's in maths, yes.
Maths what?
Every
boy?
time,
When-
every time for every maths test, I thinking, yeah, my hand, my elbows on the desk, so,
Mm.
and like I'm looking like I'm thinking, and I'm breaking my eye
Yeah.
in the corner, so looking, I'm like, hey,
I was alright. I was alright with
breaking my
numbers.
fall like this.
But the thing is, when my problem is when you have something like 150 divided by 12, I can break that down. You know, in a few seconds, I can break that down for you. But then you want me to put that on a paper, like takes me 30 seconds to work that out to show you on paper that I know how to break.
It's according to
do
what
that mentally.
Yeah, it's what the what they call it, the what they call it, the equation says you have
Yeah.
to follow. I'm like, what?
I can do it mentally and break it down and give you the answer. And all you need is the answer, but I should show you how I break that down. Now, I think that is like, bro, that is wrong business.
150
is-
divided by 12 is how much?
If you come up with the answer is what you
12
want.
is 144, isn't it?
Don't worry,
Yeah.
we'll wait for you.
So that's what.
Let's wait for you. We'll wait for him.
So that's what. 12 point something. 12,
You asking me, bro?
12.5.
12.5, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because 12 to 144, you have 6
And they have
meters.
6. Exactly.
12 into 6, 12 into
Use it.
6 is
You
5,
can,
innit?
you can work that out. You can work that out mentally, but then you need to put all this.
Feel smart. I feel smart there just now.
Yeah.
Good boy.
Yeah.
You see
This
that?
is the thing that
Give
used to
yourself
really slow me down. It slowed
Yeah,
me down
partner. I'm drink
in
something.
maths.
But you're right, bro. Because like, and yeah, staying on what we're talking about are we setting up these kids for failure, man? It's just not making them feel because they're doing things differently. It's wrong.
No,
So what I'm saying. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
but we begin them a false impression of what life really is, man.
Be open to new creativity.
Oh God, yeah, we have to allow them to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to allow them to do that themselves. You know, I mean,
It's
at a young age, you do that. You let them. All right, you do your thing.
Yeah.
You know, but they still need guidance. You know, as children, you still need to guide the children.
Mm.
But if it is, you see that they're not. I mean, because as a child, they would change the profession a million times.
Oh God, yeah.
You know, they want to do this, and then they want to do that, and like a little butterfly or bee, they're jumping from flower to flower to flower, which is expected. But that is, you just need to be like, okay, cool, and just support them and tell them that.
And
You know,
is that what you mean with guidance?
guidance, yeah.
Yeah.
You're guiding them. You would give them advice, but
Mm.
at the same time, you can't really wrap them in cotton candy.
Nah.
They need to learn at some point. You know.
You know, you're saying something?
No, just agreeing with him, like, but I just want to expand on what he's saying, like, yeah, you're supposed to, you see, as fathers and that, actually, fathers, we need to be there to push our kids to the point of their limitations to make them confident in the fact that they can go through that wall and achieve more. Because you always see it, yeah. You know it in the army, and it like when you get to that point, you say to you, yeah, I can't go anymore. Then you dig deep, and then you see, well, wow,
Yeah,
I'm
dig
pushing
deep.
myself.
Push.
So, to the same time, like if they're playing a football match, if they're doing a karate event or a martial arts event, or even education, or even doing things like TikToks, you say, oh, I can't get this dance. Take a break, do
Take a
this or do
break,
that. Train,
True.
do it. Fight, train hard, fight easy. All little things like that we can, say to them like, yeah, it's okay to take an L, but at the same time, it's okay to train as hard as you can. And that's something that's very important with the hard work.
Yep. All these big athletes and them, Michael Jordan and all these guys and them. You know how much else they take?
Mm.
Yeah.
Lots. But this is what made them who they are.
Yeah.
And it's how you package the L. Because, in school, when you get an L,
Yeah.
people look at you and they boo you, and you know what I mean? They make it
Yeah,
feel
yeah,
bad.
yeah. They will.
But,
Especially children, man. Children.
yeah, from
Children
a
real mean. I ain't gonna lie to you.
more high point view is that An L is just a learning experience.
Exactly. Is
That's
that
it. Yeah.
So
yeah.
if you
Failure
can
is a
get
lesson.
somebody in the mindset of looking at an L as a learning experience, okay, you aim for first place, you become third or second. There's room for learning.
Mm.
You learn, so you don't take your eyes off the ball. Not because you didn't achieve that means that you're not successful, but you learn something. So that is some success there, you know. So even though it's an L, there is
I
success.
say the
You
only
learn
place
something.
the only place that have no room for error or failure is on the battlefield.
Yeah.
Boy,
Yeah.
The only places have no room for failure or error on the battlefield.
It's a bit difficult. You can't question anything in the battlefield. You just get your orders and you go, but you
That's
can't. Yeah, you can't let that.
battlefield is
You have to
the battlefield
try and
is,
win.
um,
A
that's-
different thing, bro.
Is that different?
yeah, that's that's a whole different ball game.
But what? Go on, Jason, bro.
But we are setting our kids up for failure because we're giving them this false impression of this is how life is. I tell my kids all the time, say I didn't speak to my wife about it. I was like, when they go out into the real world, they're going to have a very rude awakening. Yeah, well, especially like my daughter, she likes to whenever she speaks, it's always sharp now. She's like, oh, jeez, man. Wow, it's always so rough, this and that. I was like, yo, one of these days you're gonna speak to the wrong cat.
So
You're gonna bust your lip.
You go find your match.
And then you're gonna be like,
find your match.
and then you're gonna be like, all right, cool. And then the other one, my son, he's a very sensitive boy.
Yeah.
Lovely boy, you know, but he's oversensitive. And I'm like, when he goes out into the world and he gets a dose of reality, how is he going to react to that?
Make him fix
How
it.
they going to, how are children going to react to this blatant, this disappointment?
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, they're gonna crumble. They're gonna, you know. But
yeah, if my daughter, like, I don't make it vulgar, but I say to her exactly what it is, mate. I said to her, when you go out there, there are people that'll hate you, people that will not like you, people that will like you. At the end of the day, you don't have to seek anyone's approval, mate.
true.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true, bro.
yeah. If you're going for a job or you're going for a new business link or you're trying to get a client and they say I don't want to work with you, that's your choice. I can't control that.
Yeah. So in my opinion, one of an area that we sort of set up our kids for failure is marriage. You know, we tend to read all these fairy tale books in school, you know, whether it's Cinderella, Rapunzel, whoever it is, you know, they always live happily ever after. And with that, you know, you think beyond what we say to our kids, I wouldn't say just tell our kids XYZ, are we not doing it?
I think we need to
Do
give
it.
our children some credit as well. I don't
Yeah,
think
do
they're that dotish.
Nah, they know that's
I
stupid.
think they're that stupid.
Yeah, do it
You know,
and show them.
they would because they would growing up they would have friends that have parents that have been separated, and they would see things going on, and they have these smartphones. They have a lot of information now, so they've seen a lot of things. You know, so I don't think they're that dotish.
Yeah, it's not do as I say but not as I do.
True.
You know,
I had a brethren that used to live by that, and do as I say, not as I do, kind of thing. That's simply
it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I mean, going back to setting up our children for failure, I think that's one of the areas. You know, even as married men, we never been told. You know, you've never been put aside or sit down and say, "Boy, listen, this is what to expect." Every marriage have its own book.
Every marriage is different.
Every marriage have its own book. So where do you get the manual?
Have no manual.
And until
Like
we
have no
can,
manual for life.
yeah, until we can break our children for us that societal mindset of happily ever after. And
I'm gonna cut this episode here, yeah. And what I'm gonna do is we're gonna go to part 2. So guys, stay tuned. Yeah, stay tuned for part 2, which is coming next week. And we just gonna do this in 2 parts. So you'll see part 2 of this. Same us on here talking about marriage and you know what marriage is and the difficulties of marriage, just being from the Caribbean or in general. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. Make sure you tune up next week so we can talk about marriage and the difficulties that we as men have faced and how we overcome them with our partners. All right, guys. We'll see you in a couple of days. See you next week.
if you want to see me drink rum, send me a topic.